Welcome, everyone, to a great morning. Thank you all for being here to celebrate a really important event. That is the announcement of the renewal of the Roswell Park designation as an NCI Comprehensive Cancer Center. I would especially like to recognize our distinguished guest. Governor Cuomo, we are thrilled that you're here to join us today. Congressman Brian Higgins, Senator Tim Kennedy, Assemblywoman Crystal Peoples-Stokes, Assemblymember Sean Ryan, Assemblymember John Cerrito, Assemblymember Robin Schimminger, Assemblymember Michael Kearns, Assemblymember Joe Giglio, and Buffalo City Comptroller Mark Schroeder. Thank you all for being here. I thank you all for your advocacy and support for Roswell Park, and please do not forget that the support of the members of our Western New York delegation is critical to the success we announce here today. I also want to take special opportunity to thank our great mayor, who was here on Friday to kick off the Peloton for a ride for Roswell. Mayor Brown, thank you very much. I would also be remiss in not acknowledging the support of Senators Schumer and Gillibrand. They're strong advocates for maintaining the federal government commitment to support of scientific and cancer research. Such support means commitment of dollars to support cutting-edge research, and those dollars Roswell Park faculty have been very successful in competing for. I also thank the dedicated volunteers of the Roswell Park Board of Directors and Foundation Board, Alliance Foundation Board. Thank you so much for your wisdom, your guidance under the leadership of Chairs Michael Joseph and Lee Wortham. I'd also like to welcome esteemed colleagues from the University at Buffalo, President Satish Tripathi. Satish, thank you so much for being here. And there are representatives from many of our partners in healthcare around the region. Representatives from Kaleida Health, Great Lakes Health, Allegra Jaros, the president of Women and Children's Hospital of Buffalo, and great friends from the Catholic Health System have joined us today to help us in this celebration. This is a terrific day. As president and CEO, I'm proud to lead this organization of more than 3,200 dedicated individuals, all focused on a common goal: to understand, prevent, and cure cancer. And as the principal investigator of the Cancer Center Support Grant, I'm humbled to reflect on the many accomplishments of this team of almost 200 scientists, clinical investigators, resource and administrative leaders whose hard work makes possible today's celebration. We are here today to celebrate the renewal of the National Cancer Institute Award to Roswell Park, the prestigious Cancer Center Support Grant, also known as the CORE Grant. This award will span another 5 years and is based on an in-depth peer review by cancer experts from around the United States. I'd like to ask our CCSG Steering Committee to stand to be recognized. Please, guys, stand up. And all CCSG members who are here, please also stand. It was your hard work on which this application and renewal are based. Thank you so much. And I would be particularly remiss if I didn't acknowledge the work of Dr. Candace Johnson. Candace Johnson's the Deputy Director of Roswell Park, and as many of you know, Candace and I are co-conspirators on the CCSG and many other things that we do. This team worked for 5 years on the science and clinical research that formed the basis for this renewal and the application. That application documented great accomplishments in science, clinical research, and education, and it earned an outstanding rating at peer review. This renewal extends the Roswell Park record of continuous NCI designation for more than 40 consecutive years. And the award carries with it a federal grant allocation of more than $19 million over the next 5 years to advance our scientific programs. It is also important to remember that in the late 1980s and early 1990s, Roswell's status as an NCI designated center was at risk. Please remember that renewal of one's NCI designation is not a given, and no one who has ever lost that designation has ever regained it. But through the leadership of Governor Mario Cuomo, New York State leaders and community leaders, commitment to Roswell Park was renewed, and this continued commitment has assured the success we see today. So, Governor Cuomo, thank you for that. Our reviewers noted the significant institutional commitment, which is largely measured by investments through the support provided by the New York State. The long-standing relationship between New York State and Roswell Park dates back to 1898, and this relationship now assures that support of the scientific and education mission continues. This relationship fosters substantial economic and entrepreneurial development at Roswell Park and throughout our region. It has assured the enhancement of facilities. We've been able to recruit scientists from across the country to Buffalo, and we've developed new diagnostics, treatments, therapies, and companies being developed every day. Programs like our next generation genomic sequencing work, which you all realize is part of Governor Andrew Cuomo's vision for science across New York. Roswell Park must continue this upward trajectory because today we start working toward the next renewal. We will feature another set of accomplishments that will be measured again at peer review in 2019. Every successful organization draws stability from the diversity of its resources, and I'm certain our reviewers responded to this fact at Roswell Park. We could not have demonstrated our accomplishments or justified our ambitious plans for growth without the continued support we have within Roswell Park and all around us. This support is manifest in the long-standing New York State partnership, the critical investment the governor and state legislature have made in cancer research and education, our faculty's impressive record of competing for grant funding in an ever more competitive environment, and the deep commitment of philanthropic donors in Buffalo and throughout Western New York to our mission. This is perhaps most recently emphasized through the record-breaking $4.3 million raised by more than 8,000 riders at our 19th Ride for Roswell this past weekend. Renewal of the Cancer Center Support Grant is a multi-step competitive process that involves submission of a 1,200-page document in May of 2013. This document detailed the accomplishments of our 6 key Institute research programs. Roswell chose to be the first cancer center ever to forego the traditional National Cancer Institute site visit, and instead we opted for our review to be based solely on our written application. This was something of a risky decision, and I received much advice not to forego the formal site visit. But we were confident in the strength of our accomplishments, and I was confident that this was the correct course to follow. And it was. Governor, by foregoing the site visit, we were able to commit that energy to the important business of the Institute, and I estimate that we saved Roswell Park $500,000 in resources and time commitment. Among the accomplishments highlighted in Roswell Park's application were the recruitment of almost 140 new faculty since 2007, a 5-fold increase in the number of patients enrolling in Phase 1 trials, NCI funding which has been robust in a period of increasingly competitive funding, and the impact of our publications in high-impact journals has more than doubled to almost 200 over this period of time. Congratulations to all of you who worked so hard for this recognition on behalf of the thousands of employees, volunteers, and patients. We thank the State of New York, Governor Cuomo, for his commitment to Roswell Park. It has made a tremendous difference. I want now to introduce a personal friend, a keen supporter of science, education, scientific research nationally, and a steadfast supporter of Roswell Park. Nationally, Congressman Brian Higgins has earned a reputation as a passionate advocate for cancer patients and cancer research. Wherever I go, my colleagues ask me what I've done to cultivate such a well-spoken, articulate champion. I wish I could take credit, but Congressman Brian Higgins does his homework, has the best staff on the Hill, and we in Western New York are lucky to have him fighting for us in Washington. Congressman Brian Higgins.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Skip Trump, for your friendship and for your leadership and for your generous introduction. Everybody that's here, you deserve tremendous credit for distinguishing, on behalf of all of us, Roswell Park Cancer Institute, the oldest comprehensive cancer center in the entire nation. The first documented evidence of public support for cancer research occurred right here at Roswell Park Cancer Institute. Groundbreaking work in studies linking tobacco use to cancer, which formed a basis for new public policy that discourages smoking. The prostate-specific antigen test. You gave the nation the world in 1904, chemotherapy. And the groundbreaking work that's going on here now in immunotherapy. And I'm convinced that when the next great treatment, when the next great breakthrough is made in cancer treatment, it'll be made right here at Roswell Park Cancer Institute. We have great friends in the room today. Governor Cuomo has been steadfast in his commitment to funding Roswell Park to produce the kind of results that we know of and that we will know of into the future. The Joya family, Ann and Don, are here. Just an extraordinary personal story that turned into a lifelong commitment to while they lost their little girl, they saved thousands of others because of the fundraising efforts that they committed themselves to. So this is an extraordinary place. Skip had mentioned that the designation came with a characterization of outstanding. And the other thing to keep in mind here, there's only 41 comprehensive cancer centers. There are about 12 other hospitals that desperately want this designation. They want to see somebody else fail. So the great success belongs to all of you. Continue to do the great work that you do. All of us know somebody we've lost to cancer, we've lost and loved to cancer, but we know that the groundbreaking work that occurs here will accrue to the benefit of all of us. And the great economic resurgence that's occurring in downtown Buffalo with new life in older buildings is a direct result of the growth that's occurred here. So all of you deserve great congratulations, and I thank you personally for your commitment to this great institution. With that, I am going to introduce a friend of mine and a great advocate for Buffalo and Western New York, Senator Tim Kennedy.
Thank you, Congressman. Isn't he wonderful? Congressman Brian Higgins, thank you so very much. Isn't it great to have the governor back in Buffalo, New York? It is our pleasure to host the governor back here. Thank you very much, Governor, once again for your commitment to our community, Buffalo, Western New York. The cutting-edge research that's happening right here at Roswell Park Cancer Institute not only has the potential to save lives, but it is saving lives every single day. And while in doing so, it's also revolutionizing and leading the way for the entire field across the nation. The Institute is a hot spot for Buffalo science and medicine, and it's the reason why the re-accreditation is so important and so significant. It means that one of our nation's most comprehensive cancer centers, in practical terms, will continue with the doctors and scientists fighting cancer right here in the heart of Western New York, the great city of Buffalo. They can continue to serve patients with the highest quality of care and can continue to research ways to treat and prevent this deadly disease. At the same time, this reaccreditation means that jobs are going to stay here, right here in Buffalo. Jobs are going to stay here, right here in Western New York. And not only that, but we are going to grow and expand this incredible Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus by the thousands. I want to thank once again Governor Cuomo for his commitment to the city of Buffalo and to Western New York. We, folks, are on the move. Buffalo is truly back. Buffalo is back. And with a great friend and partner in Governor Cuomo, the best is yet to come. Thank you once again, Governor, for your commitment. With that, I'd like to introduce one of my colleagues who is standing up with us, fighting for Buffalo and Western New York every single day in the New York State Assembly. Please join me in welcoming Assemblywoman Crystal Peoples-Stokes.
Thank you, Senator Kinney, and to the great team of folks who put this awesome grant together that got an outstanding rating, to Dr. Trump and Dr. Candace, whom are just two great angels of the many angels that we have in the city of Buffalo. Certainly to my colleagues in government and to our awesome governor, and to all of you who support the great work that goes on here in Western New York and quite frankly allow us to move into the future. Thank you and good morning. It is indeed my pleasure to stand before you today. It has been said before me what an awesome opportunity we have here in Buffalo. And I have had the pleasure of serving in state government for the last 10 or 11 years this year. And I have served with many governors, believe it or not, in that short period of time. And all of them, well, 4 to be exact. And all of them, through their infinite wisdom, have made commitments and talked about what really needs to happen in order to make this one state, and that is helping Buffalo to see its potential and grow past the negative energy that we had going on in this community. But none has ever made the sort of commitment that Governor Cuomo has. None has not only has he made the commitments verbally, he's put everything into action. And you can go down the line for everything that's going on in Buffalo right now. We have a huge debt of gratitude to owe to our governor. The other thing that is really critical to what's going on in Buffalo right now is the fact that people who are elected work together. This is not about the politics of personalities anymore. It's about the politics of policies, good policies that move our communities forward for all of the people of Western New York, for all of the people of the city of Buffalo. And so I am very honored to have this gentleman, who I always say when he comes back, welcome home, because I almost feel like it's second home. He comes so often bearing great news. So I would like to introduce to you all and present to some others the best governor in the entire country, representing the great state of New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Assemblywoman, and it is good to be home. First, to each and every person in this auditorium, in this great organization, congratulations to you on a really, really profound and special honor. This designation is sought after nationwide, and you won it. Give yourselves a round of applause. And every great team needs a great leader, and you have one in Dr. Trump, who led us to victory once again. Let's give him a round of applause. To Ann Gioia and Donna Gioia and the entire Gioia family that took a terrible personal tragedy, loss of a child, which is probably one of the most devastating losses that you can go through, and took that negative energy and turned it into a positive energy and wound up helping thousands and thousands of people. Let's give them a round of applause. To my government colleagues who are here, Congressman Higgins, you heard from Dr. Trump. When you have Congressman Higgins on your side, you're going to win. Odds are in your favor. He is a real star. Let's give him a round of applause. To Senator Tim Kennedy, who's just one of the bright lights in Albany. He's doing a great job here. Pleasure to be with him, Senator Kennedy. Assemblywoman Crystal Peoples-Stokes worked with 4 governors. I think we're going to keep it just at that number. What do you say, Crystal? She's a great friend. She's a great champion for Buffalo. Obviously, the state of New York's relationship goes way back, 1898. Originally, Roswell was part of the Department of Health. Now it became a public benefit corporation in 1999, but it's always been a special treasure of the state of New York. Dr. Trump was kind enough to mention my father, Mario Cuomo, served from 1982 to 1994, and he always had a special place in his heart for Roswell, a special point of pride that you were here in New York State, and New York State was so integrated with the good work that you do. And we're proud of the partnership, and we're proud of the relationship. And I want to acknowledge at this point the Western New York delegation that works very hard. $100 million in funding from the state of New York to Roswell this year. That is a lot of money on anyone's budget. It's a lot of money on the state budget. It's not easy to get done. And with all the priorities and with all the fights for funding, the one thing everyone in Western New York has always agreed to is Roswell comes first. And Roswell came first again. And let me ask the Western New York delegation to stand just so we can give them a round of applause, please, one more time. And we're all very excited and very proud of the new energy that is in Buffalo, that Assemblywoman Peoples-Stokes spoke about and the Congressman spoke about. But you can feel it on the streets. There is a new belief in Buffalo. There's a new optimism. There's a new energy. We had Kathy Hochul down in New York City last night talking to an audience about Buffalo. And she was coming alive, and she was all sorts of excited, communicating what's going on in Buffalo and the growth and the rebirth, and how the cranes have become a metaphor in some ways for the rebirth. And Kathy was saying, you know, you had a whole generation of young people who really grew up without seeing these big cranes doing construction in Buffalo, and it's become a sign of a different day in a different way. Long overdue, because for many decades, the news was gray and somber in Buffalo, but there really is a new energy and a new direction, new cooperation, elected officials working together, what we call the Regional Economic Development Council. Dr. Satish Tripathi is here working with Howard Zemsky, bringing in the private sector, bringing in the academic universities, everybody pulling in the same direction finally. And we've made great progress. What we're talking about doing at Riverbend, which is the old Republic Steel site. You want to talk about a metaphor for what was and what can be. Republic Steel, now cleaned up, brownfield work done, and we're talking about bringing solar energy, some of the leading solar companies literally in the country, if not the globe, to the new Riverbend site. Just a beautiful parallel of the old industry and the new industry, and what Buffalo was and what Buffalo can be. But in many ways, the old Buffalo is the rock upon which we build the new Buffalo. In economic development, community development, they talk about expanding the assets. Find your strength and then build on your strength. And Roswell is the rock. Roswell is the anchor. big economic engine going forward is going to be the Buffalo-Niagara Medical Corridor. The rock is Roswell. The anchor is Roswell. You started it. You're birthing it. You are generating the energy that gave birth to the vision. We're trying to expand. We're trying to grow from there. But it was all Roswell first. And it was your tenacity and your talent that has driven all of this, because you are the genesis of the rebirth. And never forget that. And if it wasn't for what Roswell did all those years, and the stamina, and the staying power, and the organization, none of the quote-unquote new Buffalo would be happening. So for that, we owe you all a debt of gratitude. And on a much larger scale, what this is all about, what Roswell's about, what government is about, what all of this is about, is trying to make this place a better place, and trying to use our time on this earth to help people and to do good. And that's what Roswell is. Roswell is in the business of compassion and healing and comforting. Roswell is in the business of giving life. And you have given the gift of life to thousands and thousands of people. And you have touched more lives than you can even count. Brothers and sisters and husbands and wives and family members and cousins who have come through this great facility, had one cured and an entire family cured with it. That is a beautiful occupation. That is a beautiful avocation that you do exquisitely well. You make us all proud. You make us all grateful. It's one of the reasons why we're all proud to be able to call ourselves New Yorkers, because this great state happens to be the home of Roswell. Congratulations on what you've done.
Governor Cuomo, thank you for your vision, your commitment, your support. Thank you all for being here. I assure you, Governor and elected officials, that we will continue our quest for greatness, fulfilling the promise that exists, and we couldn't do it without your support, and in fact, the support of all of you here. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for joining the celebration.